Hello again everybody, how's it going? Today I've decided to make a new video talking about the PRIFES characters. I don't know if you guys remember, but I have done a previous tier list for PRIFES characters in the past, but that one was around 10 months ago, so I've decided to, just update that video. I might as well, because today that tier list is very outdated, and it's completely wrong, to be honest. Heck, we even have new characters, so, I'll probably be updating this tier list as time goes on, probably like once every year, maybe twice, who knows really. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's just get into it, shall we? If you guys haven't seen the previous tier list video, this was the tier list I came up with when I made the tier list. And right now this is actually incredibly wrong, so let's actually make a new one. And I've decided to make a new tier called the Amis tier as an homage to Amis, since she is like the first broken ass character in the game, right? At like the next level of broken, not just like incredibly strong, because she is incredibly strong, but she's like a level higher than just being incredibly strong, Amis was for a really long time a stupid, crazy, an amazing character, basically the best character in the entire game, so I've decided to make a tier just for her. And let's just put her right there immediately, because she is still incredibly good, of course, even if you don't have Edis, I guess, over here. But if you guys don't know, Amis, she basically gives your team a lot of defense. She has a lot of damage mitigation by straight up increasing 15% of defense and cutting 15% of attack taken to one person while also healing that one person. She also gives barriers and a lot of heals, and also actually increases the damage by quite a bit of everybody on the team if they have a barrier. She does have that caveat of needing people to actually have a barrier, and she does give those barriers, but sometimes you do kind of need someone else to also give the barriers to make Amis a little bit more reliable, But yeah, still a stupid crazy character. And of course, I didn't mention, her loop is also very good. She basically only uses her first skill, second skill, and then her special skill that gives defense to everybody in the team. So yeah, if you don't have her, please do consider getting her, even though we don't have a PRIFES banner right now, but eventually, when the time comes. And we might as well get this one right out of the way. Edis also in the Amis tier, of course. I feel like she is better than Amis. She also gives barriers, she also heals, she also gives a good amount of defense, but overall, she doesn't give as much defense as Amis. But, how do I say this? Instead of giving so much defense as Amis, she gives way more attack. She gives a stupid amount of attack. And she also gives a really big attack speed buff to everybody in the team. And she doesn't need people to actually have a barrier, which is really nice. She doesn't really depend on some kind of conditions to actually give her buffs, which is really good. Really good, really good character. Sorry about my voice. Besides that, she also has a really stupid broken lube. She only uses skill 1 and skill 2, which is ridiculously efficient. And of course, we can't forget the very unique characteristic about Edis. She does have a revive. She gives a revive to everybody in the team, and they can revive one time during the fight, during a match or a quest or whatever, which is incredible for PvP. I've been actually making some PvP matches with Edis in the team. They're defensive matches, and it's kind of funny seeing them like die and get revived immediately, like getting all of their HP back, or pretty much almost all of it. It's really fun, and because of that, the team does actually survive the whole match, and I do win the defense, which is really cool. A really fun mechanic, kind of broken to be honest. But the only other character with a revive is Princess Pecorin, but that revive is a little bit more janky, not as reliable. So yeah, not Amis. Edis, of course, in Amis tier, and stupid broken. Moving on. Now let's actually go in order, because, those two are obviously very obvious, so obviously very obvious, yes, Igor. In any case, let's move on. Akino and Saren. They are actually a very good support. They also can deal a good amount of damage, not really that high, but they are a support character. They give TP, they also remove defense. They have a defense shred is what I mean. And they do buff quite a bit of attack to everybody in the team. But they're not really that amazing of a character, so that's why they go to A tier. Even though they are still very, very good. They're not really as used these days, but they are still very, very good. So yeah, A tier. If you don't have them, don't worry about it, but if you do have them, it's actually really nice, and they might come in handy quite a few times during your Princess Connect journey, sure, why not? And, you know, these days with the elements, we kind of need everybody anyway, so yeah, it's, of course, really, really nice to have Akino and Saren. And Grea, Jesus Christ. I still remember when Anne and Grea were like a stupid amazing character when they came out. And even after some time after they came out, like during my previous tier list, and I even put them at S tier. But these days, they are not really used as much, and I kinda get to why. They do have a mechanic where they get more stacks with every time they get buffed, also attack buffs and critical buffs, you know. It's kind of slow sometimes, like having to actually rely on that stack to actually go to the maximum amount as quickly as possible is a little bit janky, but they do deal a lot of damage. But also their positioning is a little bit annoying to play around. They are a magic user, they are a magic DPS character, but their positioning is kind of in the middle of the team, and that's kind of troublesome sometimes. Sometimes in magical characters, you have like your tank, right? And the tank usually in magical characters, magical teams I mean, like for example Kyoka Noir, she is most of the time really isolated because she stays in front and everybody else stays like really behind her. And that way she can like be the focus of all the damage and whatnot. And with sorry, and in Grea, being at the middle, they will also most of the time be targeted by some damage, which is kind of annoying to deal with. So yeah, and that's why they go all the way to A tier now. And kinda because Princess Kiaru is way better these days. Oh god, I still remember not really wanting to admit it, but Princess Kiaru is quite a bit better than Akiro and Saren, especially because the damage cap increased. Since the damage cap increased, she is straight up better than Akino and Saren. Why do I keep saying Akino and Saren? Anne and Grea. Princess Kiaru is straight up better than Anne and Grea because of the damage cap increase. Before, the maximum amount of damage Princess Kiaru could deal with her burst it was around 5 million damage. Now she can deal way more than that because the damage cap increased. And you know the gist. Princess Kiaru is very simple. She just deals a lot of damage and also recovers a lot of TP, so she just spams her burst over and over again. So while before the damage cap, Princess Kiaru did have a really low damage ceiling, even though she dealt that damage very, very often. But Anne and Grea did have a way higher damage ceiling. Now Princess Kiaru just has the same damage ceiling basically. So yeah. So Princess Kiaru just got really buffed with the damage cap upgrade, which is really interesting, I guess. Oh, she's a cutie, so it's fine. In any case, moving on. Christina. And let's keep in mind, this is Christina 6-star. Yes, she is an S tier. She's an incredible DPS character. She has her evasion, she always crits, of course, and she just keeps on spamming her burst, which is ridiculous. Very simple character to understand. She keeps getting TP and keeps getting buffed. She always crits and deals a lot of damage. Before she gets the 6-star, do please keep in mind, this is a 6-star Christina. Pre-6-star Christina, she's like, I don't know, F tier. But 6-star Christina, she is like an incredible character. She deals a lot of damage. So do be sure to actually 6-star your Christina. If you can't 6-star your Christina, don't really bother with her. She's kind of pointless. In any case, moving on. Hatsune and Shiori. They're alright. They're not really used these days. They're basically, AoE physical character. They are a very niche character because they are an archer character. and that means they usually stay really behind. But the thing is, they are also AoE. Being an AoE character, they have competition, such as Muimi and Croch, which are way better than Hatsune and Shiori. So this brings into question, when would you ever use Hatsune and Shiori? You would use Hatsune and Shiori when their position is favorable. So when your DPS being at the back would be way better than being at the front, like Croce or Muimi, for example. Heck, even Princess Hii, because they are all basically the same. If you need your DPS to be really behind, and you need a physical DPS, I guess, because sometimes magical, it ends up being better than just using Hatsune and Shiori. In those situations, you would use Hatsune and Shiori. But in any case, elements doesn't really matter too much because these girls now are all in different elements, of course. But still, of course, they are not like an amazing character, but they are still pretty strong. They have, if I remember correctly, they do have a mechanic where they just keep on getting stronger and stronger as time goes on. So that's why they are actually quite strong. But yeah, they are A tier, and yes, behind Akino and Sara. Homare, also A tier. I was gonna say hey. Homare also A tier. She's just not really that amazing anymore. Of course, she's a very good character for dark teams. She's in the dark element, of course, which is very obvious, I feel. But I mean, she's not B. Of course, she's not B, but she's an A, kind of low A. She basically, if you guys don't know, she reduces a lot of defense overall and makes the character get way more. Not the character, makes the enemy get way more damage taken because of all the defense she gives. And she does give some really good, really strong debuffs, which is really nice. Yeah, and then again, in dark teams, she is actually used most of the time because she is in the dark element. She is actually a very good character. But, in clan battle, maybe if the boss is weak against dark and maybe you can use some other element the boss is weak against, it might just be better to use someone else instead of Homare. Imagine like if the boss is weak against dark and fire, or light, or I don't know. Heck, we have Edis now. We don't really need a Homare. And Edis is also in the dark element. So, Homare is, of course, a very good character. If you have her, it's amazing. Don't worry about it. You can still do quite a lot of damage with her. But, of course, she's not really a high priority, I feel. Labrista, S tier, no doubt. Stupid amazing, incredible physical support. She also actually does deal a good amount of damage as a support. And yeah, basically it. She gives a lot of attack and a lot of attack speed buffs. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If I remember correctly, she does give some critical buffs as well. And I don't remember how many they are, and her buffs actually do last for a really long time. Of course, this is, if you do have her unique equipment. Please remember to actually give her unique equipment. If she doesn't have a unique equipment, she's complete trash. So yeah, and it's easy to get, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. Heck, if a character has a unique equipment, just use a unique equipment with them. It's very obvious. So the trio, Mimi, Kyoka, and Misogi. Misogi, Mimi, Kyoka. I don't know what the order for their names is, but it doesn't really matter. They're also A tier. What are they really? They have this really weird mechanic that really never came into play. Like, basically, these three have this mechanic where if the boss has less physical defense than magical defense, their damage will be considered physical defense. Or if the boss has less magical defense than physical defense, the damage will be considered magical defense. So their damage will always be catered against towards the lowest defensive stat of the enemy, which really doesn't really matter. Do please keep in mind though, even if their damage would be considered magic damage, they are still a physical character, I guess. Their damage is still like physical, so you do still need to use physical supports with them. So you can't really use like magic supports. They don't really mix like that, And of course they are single target. So yeah, so they do have a really high competition with these two, these two, so they're very pointless, I feel. And I'm even considering putting them at B. Yes, they are B. Yes, they are B. They are definitely B. I don't really remember which elements they are in, but even like, I feel like even in their own elements, I feel they are not really that amazing. They're just not really that good. We just have way more DPS characters that are better than them. So yeah, don't really worry about them. They're kinda Misora, one of my favorite characters. God damn, she looks hot. She is an A character, of course. I think she is here. And I think Homare is actually here. Yeah. Misora is actually a really nice character, but she's not amazing, of course. She's basically a sub DPS that also reduces a lot of defense of the enemy. That's basically it. She is like pseudo AoE, where she hits every character like in the way. She hits like the first, the second, and the third character. But if there's only like one enemy, she will hit like that one enemy 3 times, you know. She's basically she's kinda AoE, kinda single target, kinda most of the time, you know. So yeah, she's not amazing, but she's still very good. And she does still remove a lot of defense, and she does deal a good amount of damage as well. So yeah, really nice character. Very attractive character too, if I'm being honest. Anyway, Nanica. Is she an A tier? I feel like she's an A tier, guys. Then again, that's okay. I'm gonna say no, she's an A tier. I'm sorry, is she? Okay, she's an S tier. Just because she's a like low S. I'm saying this just because of the element. With the introduction of element, she is actually really needed in the teams where she is. Well, in the teams where you need the element is what I mean. I think she's light. I don't really remember. But yeah, in those teams, she will of course be very important, because now with elements we kind of need everybody to be as versatile as possible. I know, honestly, the elements are a little bit annoying. I'll probably be making a video talking about them, maybe, hopefully. Well, don't really take my word for it, to be honest, or don't really hold me to my word, because sometimes I say I do things and I never really do them. So yeah, I do feel kind of bad. But in any case, Nanica is an amazing character. She reduces a lot of defense. She's an amazing character for PvP even. Oh yeah, I should mention, this is a PvE tier list. You guys should actually know. Every time I do these kind of stuff, it's always a PvE stuff, because I don't really care too much about PvP, because I don't feel like that's the main content in the game anyway. Not for me anyway. But in any case, Nanica is an amazing character for PvP because of her clones, and her clone and herself do stun a lot, and they do both deal a lot of damage, which is an amazing thing to have, I guess. Yes. Of course, besides dealing a lot of damage and stunning, they also they also buff everybody in the team. Well, around her, she does have a field, and she also reduces the defense of the enemy. Yeah, she has a lot of stuff. Oh, and we can't forget, of course, her TP fill rate increase, which is an amazing buff to have. So yeah, okay, yeah, she is an S character, maybe even before elements, to be honest. But she like low S, I feel. Princess Hii, A tier. She is around here. Yeah, around here. In case you guys don't know, Princess Hii is a single target DPS. She's somewhat simple to understand. She has this mechanic where she gets stronger and stronger as time goes on, because she keeps building up buffs that are just permanent for the rest of the match. So as time goes on, she will get stronger, and of course she will benefit a lot from attack speed buffs because of this. Yeah, very simple character to understand. The problem is she does have a lot of competition now with this woman over here, Christina, and of course there's also like 6-star Makoto, which is also a very strong character. There's also Jita 6-star, which is also a ridiculous character. You know, like heck, Jita and Christina are an amazing team. Well, maybe not these days because of the elements. God damn it, I hate the elements, man. I'm still not used to the elements. My mindset is still like pre-elements. which is a little bit unfortunate, but you know, it's fine, it's fine. In any case, she has a good amount of competition. She is, of course, very strong still, but I feel she's not strong enough. Yes, thank you coming to my TED Talk, which is not over yet. Princess Kokoro S tier, she's kind of the same as, okay, no, she's a little bit under Labrista. I feel like Labrista and Kokoro are very, very similar, but of course, like, she doesn't have any attack speed buffs, but it doesn't really matter. She is an amazing character right now because of her new unique equipment. Her new unique equipment, if you guys don't know, it gives her some really, really strong permanent buffs for her first skill. Because of this, she pretty much skyrocketed in utility since she got it, which is kind of ridiculous if I'm being honest, because before the unique equipment, she was never used. Like, she was maybe used like 1% of the time. But before that, or besides that, I mean, yeah, she was kind of pointless, which was a little bit unfortunate because Kokoro is very cute. But yeah, Kokoro, very, very good. If you don't have her, please try getting her. She is an amazing character. That's pretty much it. I mean, I guess I should explain what does she do. She heals, she increases the defense, she gives TP recovery to everybody, which is amazing. She buffs, and she does have regular buffs that are like temporary, and she also has permanent buffs, and those permanent buffs are actually quite big. So yeah, amazing character. I don't remember very well, but I think she also reduces attack from the enemy. I could be misremembering that, but yeah, even without that, she's an amazing character, man. She's stupid broken. she's very, very good. Princess Pekori. Which one? B, A, she's kind of. Oh, wait a second. Okay, she's A because of PvP. For PvP, she is actually very, very good. She has a revive. You know, revive is very strong for PvP, and of course, she herself as well does deal a lot of damage. And yeah, she's very survivable. She is very, very well built for PvP, to be honest, just because of how tankiness she is, and the high amount of damage she also does. So yeah, see, she's at an A tier just because of that, and just because of PvP also. I feel like she might see more use these days, just because of elements, you know, and her damage cap also got increased. Of course, her burst before only would be able to deal 1,000,000 damage, but now she can deal more damage than that. So she might still actually get used a little bit more often. Well, she didn't really get used in the previous clan battle, but who cares? In PvP, she's very, very nice. She is... Yeah, this is the right position for her. Yeah. Here, Hatsune and Shiori are very bad. They have their uses, though. In any case. Ooh, Princess Yui. Ugh. This one's gonna hurt a little bit, to be honest. But she is... I feel like putting her at B. Nah, is she? Yeah. Oh. Okay, no, elements. We gotta remember elements, of course. For elements, she's A. Is she really, though? Because, like, we have so many good characters now for... I'm saying this is hard to actually measure because now we have New Year Homare, and New Year Homare is an amazing character for AoE also. She is better than Yui, by the way, but she is limited, of course. But you know, God. Okay, yeah, Yui is B tier. Yui is B tier. Unfortunately, she's not even good for PvP. Maybe in lower ranks, but yeah, she is not. Yui is not very good. Her only problem is her numbers. Her numbers are just way too low for these days. Her skills are actually really, really, like, if you read them, they are actually quite good. But, okay, no, I'm going to put her at A. Why? Because it's my list, and I do whatever the fuck I want. So yeah, A tier, because I like her. I like using her. She's my favorite wife in the game. So yeah, A tier. Heck, here. Fuck Hatsune and Shiori. Okay, no, okay, let's put them here. Fine. I need to be a little bit realistic. But yeah, Yui, shortly after her new unique equipment, whenever that comes out, she'll like get stupid broken and she'll see a comeback. You'll see, guys, you'll see. Just trust, guys, just trust. I know what I'm saying. I don't know. I know what I'm saying. Jesus Christ, I can't even talk right now. Anyway, guys, Princess Rei, she is A tier, very high A tier. She does a lot of damage. Probably the best A tier right now. Even over Anne and Grea. This is because of her unique equipment that came out quite some time ago that boosted her damage by a stupid amount. So yeah, but even still, she is not really that used just because we do have other two very, very good characters for AoE. And if you guys don't know, she does have this mechanic where the more enemies she hits, the more damage she will deal. So she, of course, will excel very, very much in the dungeon. I don't remember which number it is. I feel like it's dungeon EX5 or 4? I don't remember. But it's basically the dungeon where the final boss is those two guardians with like statue guardians, where both of them has like three targets. So overall, it's like, you know, 6 enemies. In that situation, she will deal a stupid amount of damage. So yeah, I still remember when she came out or something like that. She was like the MVP of that one dungeon, which was kind of interesting to see. But yeah, and even if there's only like 3 targets for the boss fights, she still deals a lot of damage. So yeah, if you don't have, well, a little bit weird not having Muimi or Croch because they are also PRIFES. But yeah, if for some reason you couldn't get neither of them and you maybe did have Princess Rei, you know what? Amazing. Incredible character to actually have. Well, the fact that these two exist does make things really, really hard for her, but you know, at least she does have the situations where, you know, if there are like 6 enemies, she's there to save you, I guess, which doesn't really happen that much. Anyway, moving on. Rafa. She is also in Dark, yeah. She's A tier. She also reduced a lot of defense. She is like AoE Homare, I guess. She's like AoE Homare, where she also reduced a lot of AoE. She actually herself can deal a good amount of damage because she summons this dragon that deals damage for her. Yeah, not really used that often. She's still very good, and I bet she will still be quite nice to have, because in dark stages, you know, she can be quite useful. Well, Edis exists, so who cares? In any case, Croch, what did I say? What did I mean to say? Croch, S tier. Maybe over here. Honestly, all of these characters, except for Nanica, are pretty much at the same level of importance or power level. You know, they are all very, very good. Very, very good supports and very, very good DPS characters. Nanica is the only one that's like, she's very, very good, but not as good as these ones. But in any case, Croch, an amazing AoE. She's not a support, sorry, an amazing AoE DPS. And she does have this weird ass mechanic, which is not very important as long as she has enough TP. Basically, after she uses her burst, she enters this mode where she'll get like a certain amount of stacks, and every time she attacks, she reduces one of those stacks. And if she runs out of stacks, she will explode and will not attack for a little bit. So you want to, you know, you want to actually prevent that. And we prevent this by giving her enough TP, because every time she bursts, she gets those stacks back. So yeah, if you just give her enough TP, if you just see that she bursts often enough, she'll be fine. You don't even need that much TP, to be honest. But yeah, she deals a lot of damage, and that's basically it. Moving on, Liel. She is A tier. She is here. Please? Okay, there we go. She is over Princess Rei because she herself is used so often, and she is so strong, actually. She's almost S tier, I feel. Ooh, is she S tier? Nah, I don't think... Is she? Okay, she might be S tier. If Nanica is S tier, I think Liel is also S tier. She herself deals a lot of damage, and she also buffs everybody on the team. Everybody's magic damage, of course. And her main very, very strong thing is having this new mechanic exclusive to herself for now, where she I don't know, she domain expand, not really, it's kind of different, but she puts a stat in the stage. This affects everybody, so even the boss, where damage from physical and magical attacks will actually increase. More magical than physical. The physical one is a little bit low, but the magical improvement upgrade, yeah, sure. The amount of damage increased for magic is actually really high with that stage buff. So yeah, because of that, teams with her will actually deal a lot of damage. Yeah, I do feel like she is S tier, but not really super high S tier. She's low S tier, just like Nanica. She is definitely not at the same level as these 5 over here. Shizuru and Reno, they are A tier and they are over here. They are an amazing tank. Even though they are a tank, their position is at the mid guard, but even still, they do kind of behave as a tank, and they are meant to be a support for archer characters, so characters that stay in the back, because she does buff characters that stay in the back. Yeah, that's basically it. And they are a tank. They recover a lot of HP every time they burst, and they do themselves actually deal a good amount of damage. It's actually quite amazing. They're a tank that also deals a lot of damage and also buffs a lot of attack. And they're built for archers, as I mentioned before. Not really too much to know about them, just that thing where they're mid-guard, I guess. Yeah, they're for archers, basically. Of course, you can still use them for teams where you don't use archers. Like, for example, I've seen some teams where Christina is in a team with Shizuru, but it doesn't really happen too often. But of course, you can still play around that. It's not exclusive to archers, what I mean to say. But in any case, we move on. And of course, we have our last character, Muimi, sorry. Also known as Noemu, which is the name, I don't know the lore, it's her second name, I guess, whatever. I guess, fun fact, in case you guys don't know, Muimi means no meaning. And that's why she has like a different name, because, you know, being called no meaning is a little bit sad. So, yeah. In any case, Muimi. S tier, of course, she is here. I feel like, well, okay, Croch and Muimi are very close in power level, but you know, I think Croch can deal more damage, but Muimi does have a very good. Also keep in mind, actually, before I continue, keep in mind this is 6-star Muimi. Before 6-star, she's completely garbage. But of course, in any case, 6-star Muimi, with her 6-star buff, she got this mechanic where she doesn't get stunned like ever if she bursts once. After she bursts, she never gets stunned, which is amazing. She does most of the time stay in front of your team, which can be a little bit troublesome, but she still can deal a stupid amount of damage, don't get me wrong. And there are a lot of cases where you do use them both in the same team, Croch and Muimi. Well, sometimes you don't, but they are still very strong, equally strong in my opinion. Both of them, like, they do fill different niches, not niches, but situations. They do fulfill different situations. So yeah, it's very important to actually have both of them. So if you don't have both of them, try getting them whenever PRIFES comes around again. I'll try talking about this when PRIFES comes back, I guess. That's basically it. That's the PRIFES tier list, updated as of March 2024, I guess. 10th, March 10th, sure, whatever. I hope this was helpful for you guys. This ended up being quite a big video. I wasn't expecting it to be that big. That's what she said. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. And I'll see you guys next time.